So I'm the chair, my name is Kawai, and also first presenter. So first presentation, movement of Bivalves Anadara from fishing ground onto land in Fiji Islands. And move to this side. 포인터どうするんですか? Okay, thank you very much. So today I'd like to talk about movement of bivalves from fishing ground onto land in Fiji Island. So now one of the most important issues in the world is global warming. Maybe everybody agree this point. Each ecosystem has own material circulation, and if material circulation working very well, global warming is not existed. So we should think about this material circulation should be working very well. So this is one of the example. So most of the material from land side to the sea, and from sea to air, and come back to land. This is one of the example. So carbon also this is. So in nature, material circulation is existing. It's working, but now human being working very hard, so industries produce lots of carbon. So this is a reason why global warming is existing. So now we should think about the material circulation in nature and material circulation in economic society is harmony. So we should think about this one. It's very important. So now some people think about fishing activity. It's one of the very important function for the material circulation. For example, from land side, this river takes lots of material from land side to the sea. The material, the fish and bivalves feeding, and they are growing. So finally, people fishing these fish and bivalves and take to the land. They consumed. Consume, and people go to the toilet, and lots of food go back to the nature. So this is one of the good material circulation. So some people think this fishing activity is very important, but not yet studied these topics. So I studied this topic in small islands, and my objective is, the target is this bivalves. This is in Fiji. I have a research, a lady collecting this one and collecting and take to the village, and some people selling in the market. So some people buy and consume and go to toilet and back to nature. So maybe this kind of system is existing. So I'm studying this structure or function of the system regarding to the movement of marine product, these bivalves. So our today's topic is I study in Fiji Islands. So already everybody knows about more than 300 small islands exist in this country, and lots of coastal area, many villages existing. And from the view from the village, here is a mangrove forest and tidal flood, and that bivalves living around here, and a little bit far, this is a coral cove. And if there's a good fishing ground near the island, they are using by boat, go to the fishing ground. So in Fiji, this activity done only women. Women, when tide is going down, people walking around and collect the bivalves. And weekend, everybody go to the market selling, and also house consumption. And this bivalve is a filter feeder. So filter feeder means organic matter, plankton in the sea, they are feeding. So this is a method. This survey is conducted 2 villages from 2017 to 2019. So we asked bivalve collecting women the 2 questions. One is fishing ground. Which fishing ground do you collect the bivalves from? It means near the land side, so far from the land side. We think the food is different. So near the sea, land side, lots of materials coming to the land. So this bivalves feeding material from the land side. But however, far from the land side, they might consume feeding the plankton, more plankton they are big. So depends on the fishing ground, the different food bivalves feeding. So we ask which fishing ground are you collecting? So next one, how do you utilize the collected bivalves? For example, house consumption and gift, and sell them in the market. We're asking. For example, house consumption may be consumed in the village, but sell in them, so move to the out of the village in the market, so that it's moving far from the original place. So this is a fishing ground and research place. The main research is focused 2 villages and on Bivalves Island. One W village is south part of Bivalves, is near the big city Suba. So also this supermarket is close to there. And east side, this is a W village. K village is east side, and near this village, another market existed. So K village 1, 2, 3, 4 fishing ground, but B is a marine protected area. So only 1, 3, D is people collecting. W village 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fishing ground. So some people go fishing ground I, but some people want to go fishing ground F. So I asked. So this is a picture of our research. So the lady is coming back after collecting the bivalves, we are asking the interview using the USB students. They are supporting us. And we also measure the weight, how much they are collecting. And after the same day, again, interview. Is it correct? Our interview is correct or not? Again, more detail we are asking. And we also measure the waste after feeding, eating the bivalves, how much they throw away. So this is one of the results from Monday to Sunday. How many people are going to the fishing ground? This is a K village 2017 and 2018, and this is a W village 2019. This one is almost same trend from here to increase and then decreasing, almost same trend. This one explains woman's life. For example, this is one same data. Monday, most of the village should do the community work. So almost half a day is a free time for the lady. So lady is only half a day, so enough time, not enough time to collect the bivalves. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's no community work day, so it's enough time to collect the bivalves. So lots of people go outside, and lots of amount of bivalves they collecting. And Friday and Saturday is market day. So after collecting this one, people go to the market, selling in the market. So, and Sunday, everybody is going church. So this is my friend. He usually, every weekend, he go church. I'm not Christian, so I don't know why, but everybody going. So this changing explains their life, the community days, free times, the market, and Sunday church. So, and next month, which fishing grounds they are selecting. 2017, 2018, fishing ground ACD. B is a marine protected area. So 2017, lots of people going to station, ground A. It's very close to the village, so everybody want to go there because it's very easy and no need to pay the money to rent a boat. But next year, few people going, and they are going station C, very far. I'm asking why, because they said everybody go station ground A, the size and number of bivalves decreasing. So they should go ground C. It's more, density is high and size is big. And D is very good fishing ground, but few people going because they should pay the money. So lots of factors influence which grounds they are going. So fishing ground, W village, everybody go to the fishing ground F because very close to the village. Everybody going there. So this is how much more? 130 minutes. Okay, so which market going? Everybody is near the village going. And I asked house consumption and gift and market and middleman. So village K is mainly house consumption 2017, but next day is everybody is selling in the market because 2018 they need the money to hand over the money to the community. So everybody is selling in the market. However, village W is everybody go to the market. This is nobody gift. So it's very business communities. So this is a toilet. Go back to the material in the sea. The drain is just in front of the village. So after the consumption, all the material go back to the near the village and back to the sea. So this is a one abstract. So fishing ground. This is important with selection. So fishing ground selection is very important. And after fishing, everybody take all the people to the village. So after the village, some people using house consumption, some people gift to somebody, and some people selling in the market. So in the village, utilization selection is existing. In the market, also, which market they are selling, the food Bivalves is moving differently. So which village they are going also very important. And finally, something like this one. So this one, market near the village, big city, as people going this one. But this market, the bus station is close to this area. So the people buy the Bivalves long distance moving. So depends on the transportation is also affect this one. And this one, the vendor selection, is one also I will finish soon. So in the market, as people selling, but for example, lady is this lady selling in W village. This lady is coming from the K village. This lady is coming from another village. So the vendor, which vendor the people buy? So original place is different. So vendor selection is existing. So this selection is very important. Also, social factor, economical factor, environmental factor affecting this selection. So depends on the selection, the different factor affected. So I studied this structures, factors in Bivalves, but we try to study all the fishing animals. Then we can find out the function of the fishing for material circulation. So in the future, I think it's impossible, but we should think about this one. Okay, thank you very much. So I'm a chair next. So any question for this presentation?
This is a pure curiosity question now, Kawai.
Yes.
So, do you have evidence of where the villages sell this particular fish product, curry product, if it comes from closer to the village, which is more contaminated by the sewage? Do they sell that in the village, or do they go to the market and sell it?
Yeah, that's a very important issue.
Are they aware that the fish closer to the village, because of the sewage, is more contaminated? And what do they do with that?
Actually, I don't have any data, but 10 years ago, nobody cared these topics. But now, near the village, near the big city, people think about this influence. So maybe government should have a research these topics. But people think about this possibility, but I have no idea. Yeah, it's very important one.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I know I'm familiar myself with Pacific Island communities that have their own indigenous conservation practices when it comes to where we fish. Those villages that you worked with, did they have, because you talked about the different fishing zones, and the reason why they didn't fish in one place was because they didn't harvest from one place was because the bivalves are getting smaller. Do they have a structured conservation system where they say we will not harvest from here for a year or however long it takes, we will now harvest from somewhere else? Or was that something that's organically happening naturally?
So it means marine protected area, something like that. Yes, some village, so village K now, they are Toranikoro, I forgot English names. Like a chairman, he studied a lot of this kind of thing. So he decided this place is a marine protected area, so 10 years. And 10 years later, changing this one. But it depends on the village. W village, nobody cares. So now it's decreasing. So depends on the person and the village. Yeah. I will decide it's finished or not. Okay. Any question? If not, I'll finish. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next. Okay, next presentation, Professor Takamiya. His title is Human and Island Environment Interaction During Periphery of the Amami and Okinawa Archipelago.
Thank you. Good morning. The title of my talk is No Obvious Human-Related Environmental Change During the Prehistory of Amami and Okinawa Archipelagos, Japan. After a brief introduction, I would like to talk about information on the relationship between human population and island environment. And from many islands in the world, it has been suggested that once human population settle island environment, they easily and greatly modify island environment. And I was wondering when I started working on Amami and Okinawa, if people influenced or destructed environment during the prehistoric times. And in order to show or demonstrate how people affected island environment, I have studied faunal analysis and plant analysis, and then quarrying analysis. Then I would like to talk about these, I would like first give you a background information. Then I would like to show you the result of this analysis. Then concluding remarks. Some of you may not know where Amami and Okinawa are located. Amami and Okinawa are located the middle of the Ryukyu Island, about 700 to 1,000 kilometers southwest from Hiroshima. And these are map of Amami and Okinawa Island. Now I'd like to let you know chronology of Amami and Okinawa. Some of you might know that mainland Japan, except Hokkaido, chronology consists of Paleolithic, Jomon, and Yayoi, Kofun, and historic times. In Amami and Okinawa, we have different chronology. It starts with Paleolithic, but followed by Shelviden period, then August period. And Shelviden period, which I'm focusing in this talk, is further divided in early and late. And early period further divided into 5, early 1, early 2, early 3, early 4, and early 5. And early period roughly corresponds with the Jomon period. And late period from Yayoi to Heian period. As most of you know, that island environment is extremely fragile, especially after successful colonization by human population. It has been reported from many islands that environmental deterioration or destruction happened after successful colonization by human population. And among the island archaeologists, it seems to be the rule. So please remember, once people settle island environment, they destroy island environment, which has been reported many islands in the world. For example, on Mauritius Island, dodo became extinct after 100-200 European colonized the island, and more became extinct after Polynesian colonized New Zealand. But in Amami and Okinawa, we don't have any animals became extinct. But these three species were distributed widely on Okinawa Island, but now they survive only in the northern part of Okinawa Island. So we have evidence of local extinction, but no extinction has been known. Then I would like to show how people influenced islands of Okinawa during the prehistory period or Shelviden period. I reanalyzed vertebrate, and this was the result I got. During early fall, as you see, red portion occupy more than 80%. This red portion consists of coral reef fishes. And coral reef fish species are very effective way of getting protein in these two islands. And so this is kind of ideal source of protein. However, this coral reef fish, percentage coral reef fish decreased from R4, R5 to late 1. Instead of coral reef fish, wild boar increased from like 7% in R4 to 23, 24 during R5, and it slightly increased during the late 1 to 27%. So I thought late 1 period was a period of food stress. However, TORII, who is a specialist in vertebrate analysis, reanalyzed many vertebrate obtained from many archaeological sites. And this is the result of his analysis. Sites below green bar is a Shelviden period, but site above the green bar is a Gusk period. So just focus on the Shelviden period. As you see, from about 5,000 years, 6,000 years ago to about 1,000 years ago, people are constantly consuming coral reef species. Based on this result, tourism thinks environment was stable during the Shellvision period. Then I reanalyzed shellfish use during the Shellvision period. And during the RE4, these 3 species were selected. And these 3 species are very easy to collect, and safely you can collect them. So even today, young and old people can easily pick up these shellfish species. So this was kind of an ideal shellfish collecting system. So they might want to stick with this system. However, it changed, especially during the late one period. People were collecting these 3 species instead of RE4 3 species. And these 3 species are risky or costly to collect. So much more costly and much more risky. In addition to that, RE4 3 shellfish species are small. Like average weight is only 4.4 grams. However, later one 3 species are very heavy, 230 grams. So it means you have to have more transportation cost. So later one shellfish species are risky and costly, and takes more transportation cost. So I concluded that late one period was the period of food stress. However, Kurosumi, who is a specialist of analyzing shellfish remains from archaeological sites, thinks shallow, which was a long-distance exchange conducted between Amami, Okinawa, and mainland Japan. Mainland Japanese wanted these 2 species, Strombus laticinus and Conus species. And from this one, Okinawan people collected this Strombus latissimus, many of them. And also from them, they made a bracelet. And during that time, mainland Japanese society called Yayoi was a ranked society, and chiefs wore them in order to show his status. So they used a bracelet as a status symbols. And Okinawan people also collected these shellfish species. And this one was shellfish collected from one site, recovered from one site. And they produced also bracelet, which was used as a status symbol in mainland Japan. But what is Kurozumi's interpretation is that people, Okinawa and Amami people, collected these 2 species, and if they incidentally found these 3 species, they collected. So Kurozumi denies food stress hypothesis as well. So from the analysis of faunal remains, we don't see any evidence of human influence to the island environment. Then we have collected plant remains from Shellvision period for the last 30 years. And all plant remains from Shellvision period were wild species. But we don't have no grasses, not many grasses, indicating forest was still there during the Shellvision period. Also, many pollen analyses have been conducted in Amami and Okinawa, and mostly forest-related pollens such as Castanopsis or Fogaceae. here again, no dominance by grass-borne. So recently we have Yonerobu and his team did a coring sampling from two inner bay sites, inner bay area in Okinawa, and they used a ship and collected core sample here, and they analyzed what they collected from these two core samples. And these are the result is like this. Only they understand this graph. I don't understand what they're doing. But their conclusion is that from at least 2,000 years ago to 1,000 years ago, no influence by human beings. About 1,000 years ago, they obtained indication of human influence on the environment. And it is interesting that about 1,000 years ago is exactly agriculture started in Amami and Okinawa. So when they start agriculture, they start deforesting and environmental destruction started for the first time. So conclusions, too fast. Impact from people to the Amami and Okinawa island environments was minimum during the Shell-Milton period. Available archaeological or related approaches cannot detect environmental influence by humans. And this is a very extremely rare case in the world when think about human groups and islands.
Good. Keep on.
How many more?
How many? 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, then I'm done. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Takamiya-san. So, is any question from the floor?
I have no idea about any of these topics, but I just have interest in what was do you have a rough idea of what the population was during these periods on the islands? I mean, what kind of revenue population?
You mean how many?
Yes, yeah.
We can't say how many people were there, but before 4,000 years ago, archaeological sites is very huge, like on average 3 to 5 per 100 years. But after 4,000 years ago, sites number increased to 20 or so per 100 years, then 30 to 40, about that. But after during the Gusku, when agriculture started, site numbers like 100 per 100 years. So about 4,000 years ago, population increased. And also after Gusku, when agriculture started, population increased. But I can't say how many, sorry.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Is any question from the floor?
So the Amami Islands were inhabited later?
No, about
much later in comparison to the mainland Japan?
Mainland Japan is about 38,000 years ago. And Amami now, they say about 3,000 years.
Much
So,
later?
About the same time.
Oh, the same.
Yeah, in archaeological time scale.
But they had minimal interference with the natural landscape, so that
Probably, yeah.
the black rabbit and other species in Amami had survived.
But pardon me?
So their presence on the islands had less impact on
Yeah, until the beginning of this period. So during the Paleolithic and the Cellular period, we can't see any influence by human population.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Everybody okay? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, final presentation in this session. Song-san, sustainability of ecotourism is World Natural Heritage Amami Island.
Hello everyone. I'm Dajeong SONG from South Korea. My major is cultural anthropology, and I have been conducting research on ecotourism in Amami, Oshima, and Tokunoshima. I'm interested in the process harnessing nature as a tourism resource and people's perception of nature. Amami Oshima Island, along with Tokunoshima Island, the northern part of Okinawa Island and Miyajima Island, was registered as a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site in July 2021. It has a population of approximately 56,000 people and cover an area of 712 square kilometers, which is larger than Tokyo. In Japan, ecotourism has emerged since the late 1980s. In the 1990s, the Ministry of Environment conducted surveys in various locations to promote ecotourism. These surveys were carried out in areas such as Hiroto, Yakushima, and Yamamoto, which later became designated as a World Natural Heritage Site. It was until 2010 ecotourism was fully integrated as a policy. In 2007, the Ecotourism Promotion Act was enacted to further promote effective ecotourism. In the Amami Islands, they had high hope for the ripple effect of the region's social and economic development, so the registration as World Natural Heritage Site. In terms of tourism, they anticipated an increased visitor number due to the improved recognition. To ensure that this popularity is not short-lived, they devised policies that allow for sustainable utilization with conserve the natural environment. In line with these conditions, ecotourism was promoted as a suitable approach. Some of the popular ecotours in Amami Oshima include kayaking in the mangrove, working in Kinsakbaru National Forest for wildlife observation, and activities like snorkeling with a sea turtle, whale watching, and swimming with whales. Additionally, there is a night tour for observing the natural monument, the Amami Rabbit, which I will introduce today. The Japan Tourism Agency formulated the guideline for contribution to SDGs and promotion of sustainable tourism in June 2021. In various regions, participation initiatives are being carried out as a part of this effort. In the northern part of Okinawa Island, electronic buses have been introduced for ecotourism. Additionally, biotoilet has been installed in the Kinzakaru National Forest on Amami Oshima. In this presentation, I will be focusing on addressing over-tourism or usage restrictions. Firstly, there are car restrictions in national park. Places like Takamiya, Tateyama, Shiretoko, Mount Fuji, and Yakushima prohibit the entry of general vehicles throughout the year during special periods. Additionally, there are cases where rules are established for appropriate utilization. The Miyajima rules in the OGAWA Islands as an example. Amami Oshima also implement usage rules before and after designation as UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site. Amami City Sumio Town is a region located in the central part of Amami Oshima with a population of approximately 1,200 people and considering of 14 settlements. It is notable for the significant forest area, which with a large portion being included in the UNESCO World Natural Heritage Register Zone and Buffer Zone. The night tour I briefly introduced earlier in a wildlife observation tour, where you travel with a guide in a car. The tour fee is around 8,000 yen. The Santa Line is well known as a suitable observation spot, mainly because it is easily accessible from the city center, has a high encounter rate with the Amami levy compared to other observation locations and other wide and safe roadways. This factor has made it renowned among both local and visitors as prime location for wildlife observation. The usage rule for the Santa Line starts in October 2021. These three roads are local public roads which used to be closely connected to the registered daily life. Considering their high historical significance, rules for road usage were established with the premise of allow access to everyone. Registering public roads for the purpose of nighttime wildlife observation is pioneering initiative in Japan. The observation this study is shed light on how the government-led usage regulation is perceived by tour guide and local residents, along with the process of rationalizing the utilization. Since 2019, the Ministry of Environment, Kagoshima Prefecture, and Amami City has initiated efforts toward the rationalization of nighttime usage on the Santa Line, a local public road. This research methodology involved conducting interview surveys with stakeholders, primarily night tour guides and residents of the surrounding town, following a pilot experiment. After 1 year of implementing the usage rules, the Ministry of Environment reported on the outcomes. By limiting the number of vehicles, there have been a decrease in the number of roadkill incidents. I conducted the interview with representatives from the 14 villages in Sumio Town. The local residents didn't seem to have much interest in the regulation imposed by the establishment of rule for wildlife observation and usage on the Center Line. The absence of resistance in the process of formulating usage rule. Only a small portion of local residents have participated in opportunities such as resistance briefings, demonstration, experiment result presentations, and opinion exchange meetings, where they can contribute their opinion as stakeholders. The reserve time slots designated exclusively for Sumio Town residents have low utilization. The administration created this time slot specially to provide Sumio Town residents who have a close relationship with the Center Line an opportunity to use it during peak periods such as holiday and vacations. However, the actual user was not long-time residents, but recent migrants, including teachers who relocated to Amami Oshima in the past few years and their families, as well as individuals who returned to their hometown after retirement. Local residents in Sumio Town moving to other observation sites from the Center Line. Among the local residents, there was a sharing understanding of the place where the Amami levee could be observed. Some locations have already seen increased usage, increased guide tour and rent cars. There is a risk that the excessive usage issue currently happening on the Center Line may occur in other locations. Local residents play a crucial role in the conservation and management of national park and World Heritage Site. Research on national park and World Heritage Site has shown the environment of local residents is essential for effective conservation management, emphasize the significance of their conservation awareness and active participation. However, in the case of Sumio Town, the majority of residents showed no interest in the establishment of usage rules and the corresponding usage restrictions, and were gradually become less engaged. Local residents are key decision makers. They have the power to decide how to preserve and utilize nature, and it is important for them to be aware of their role in making those decisions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Son-san. So already, Maria-san. Yeah, I know you like Amami.
Thank you for your presentation. I know your work is really important to involve the local community in Amami. Why do you think the authorities or the groups involved in conservation fail to engage with the local Amamians? Because from your research, it seems that they are really not that much interested, which is very interesting for a small island.
なんで興味がないってこと？ Sorry, I can't speak English very well.
なぜローカルの人がコンサベーションそういう守ることに興味を持ってるんですか？
興味を持ってるのかっていう質問。
So you're asking that why local people interested in
They are not interested because her research showed that they are not really engaging.
そんなに興味持ってないのかな。
英語で
英語で。
日本語。
今の生活に関係がないから、今の生活に関係がないから興味を持ってる。
Because local people don't care because national heritage is not related to the actual their life, so it's not important for to get the money.
Right. So there was no consultation with the locals.
Consultation.
Like communication with the locals about the program.
地元の人たちとのコミュニケーションとかそういうのはないんですか？
このルールとかあるんだけど、あんまり参加しない。
The government tried to show how to do that, but they are not interested to join that.
So it wasn't very participatory. It was very top down, most likely.
Yeah, top is very interesting. Down is not interesting.
Arigato.
Is there any question in Japanese?
Or Korean.
Korean. It's okay? Okay, thank you very much, Son-san.
Hello, my name is Sota Yamamoto from International Center for Island Studies, Kagoshima University, Japan. Nice to meet you. So I am chair of the two next papers. So actually, the first presentation is made by me, so I would like to start my presentation. So the Pacific dispersal route of Capsicum frutescens, this is the chili, one of the chili peppers, into Asia. So Capsicum peppers, so chili pepper, hot peppers, belonging to the Solanaceae family, native to tropical and temperate regions of the Americas. Of the approximately 35 currently recognized species, 5 are domesticated. So, so this, what is it? So this Capsicum anu is the most famous domesticated species in the world. More than maybe 90% or 95% of chili peppers belonging to this family. So at the lunchtime, you see this like I don't know how to say, but this is bell peppers, I don't know. In Japanese we say shishito. So this one is not hot one, but sometimes maybe 1 per 100 fruits, sometimes very spicy, but actually not spicy one. This is belonging to this Capsicum anu. And also like jalapeno, bell pepper, paprika, all the varieties belonging to this family. And this is originated in the highlands of Mexico. But my target is Capsicum frutescens. So this is originated from Brazil to the Caribbean area. So after Columbus returned to the Old World in 1493 with chili peppers, it soon spread from Spain to the other European countries. In 1585, the Portuguese brought chili peppers to India, and soon thereafter, chili peppers sailed to sea lanes to Malacca and Indonesia and spread to the Far East. Chili peppers were introduced to Japan several times by the beginning of the 17th century by literature survey. However, detailed genetic studies on dispersal routes of chili peppers into Asia are poorly known. So this like type, Capsicum anu, so many varieties of Capsicum anu have been produced and distributed, breeded and distributed around the world. so making it difficult to reconstruct its dispersal routes. However, numerous local varieties of Capsicum frutescens exist in tropical and subtropical area of the Asia-Pacific region, where the chili pepper Capsicum frutescens is often grown in home gardens and used fresh for seasoning foods in daily diet. In Japan, Capsicum frutescens is cultivated only in the Nansei Islands and Ogasawara Islands because this species is especially fit to tropical and subtropical area. So this is in Amami Oshima, in Kagoshima Prefecture. So the last session already you know where Amami Island or Okinawa Island. So this is some izakaya place. And I went to izakaya place in Amami, and I tried to eat sashimi, and tuna sashimi, and then the izakaya owner showed me this bottle. This is like a chili pepper fruits soaked in vinegar, especially vinegar made from sugarcane. So in Amami area, they use, so they soak fruits in the vinegar. So this is a condiment in Amami, traditional condiment in Amami area. But when we moved to Okinawa area, then this is Capsicum frutescens fruits. They soak fruits in awamori, Okinawan rice liquor. So this is also very, I'm not sure it's traditional or not, but very unique condiment in Okinawa, and they use this one for like when you eat the noodles or whatever you like. So this is the spicy and alcohol, but Amami one is spicy and sour taste. So when you eat sashimi, you pour the shoyu, and then you pour this liquid, then taste it like a salty and sour and spicy. Good taste. And then this is, so moreover, this Capsicum frutescens is sometimes found along the fresh edges on the roadside as weed, like a weed, and it's dispersed by several birds. This fruit is Okinawan Ogasawara. So on the fruit size, only 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter, and very tiny fruit. And light side, this is Okinawan like a Capsicum frutescens. A little bit bigger, maybe 3 centimeter or 4 centimeter. And when the fruit is young, the color is a little bit greenish white. This type is green. So in Japan, so actually there are 2 types of Capsicum frutescens in Japan. So this is Miyajima in Okinawa. So I just go around the town and I found this is actually Capsicum frutescens. It's like a weed, but so this is a concrete wall and paved street. But sometimes Capsicum frutescens can grow automatically because of the birds eat the fruits and drop the seeds. So therefore, the diversity and relationship among 357 accessions of Capsicum frutescens in Japan, Southeast Asia, Oceania, and Americas were investigated using a kind of DNA analysis and also intraspecific variation of chloroplast genome to reveal its dispersal route. So accessions mainly from Japan and Indonesia, Cambodia, and Micronesia. So maybe it is too complicated, but when we do the analysis, there are 5 groups. So first one, this group consists of American accepted from Americas. And then group 2 is very unique, so I skip. And group 3 mainly Americas, or FSM, Indonesia, but not so many accessions from the mainland of Southeast Asia. And this is like a group 5 is only accessions from Southeast Asia, including continental region and also insular region. So I would like to focus on group 2. And group 2 divided in several sections. But first I have to say this the meaning of pie chart. So the color or the balance of the color is similar it means they are genetically close. So, for example, this group too, there are many which are only red color. So, you see, almost all the red color, it means they are very closely related. So, this section, America's Marshall Islands, Federated States of Micronesia, and Indonesia. And the next group, America's Marshall Islands, Federated States of Micronesia, and actually Ogasawara, accession from Ogasawara is belonging to here. And not all of them, I checked the fluid character of this cluster, almost the same character, the same fluid character like Ogasawara one. And the next group is belonging, it consists of Americas, FSM, Tahiti, Indonesia, but Maluku, this is the east part of islands. And Sulawesi is the central part of Indonesia also, a big island, but not like Java or Sumatra. And Okinawa was here. And the other cluster, like Americas, Marshall, FSM, Indonesia, and only here, only two accession from Cambodia, it means a continental region of Americas, continental region of Southeast Asia here, but almost they are like a similar color. It means they are genetically closely related. So it is found that accessions in Japan, Okinawa, and Ogasawara are genetically closely related to those in Americas, Oceania, and the insular region of Southeast Asia, but genetically distant from those in the continental regions of Southeast Asia, which suggests that some accessions of Capsicum frutescens were maybe introduced from Americas to Asia via Pacific, that is the Pacific dispersal route. So this is the Micronesian area, Cambodia, and Indonesia area, and the other area brought here. So Capsicum chili peppers, all the chili peppers are originated from Southeast Asia. Then if you see the color in the Micronesian area, there are red circle, many red circles here, and also this American area, and also Japan. But the other Cambodia or Indonesia, a little bit different color. But in this area, so Maluku area or Sulawesi area, sometimes this red color is there. So usually, generally speaking, Capsicum peppers are from Americas to Europe, Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and maybe go to Oceania or like Far East. But so like our research shows maybe some variety, some accessions of Capsicum frutescens is from Americas via Pacific, and after that like Southeast Asia or Japan. So historical background, in the mid-6th century to the early 19th century, the Maya galleons, like Spanish trading ships, sailed across the Pacific Ocean between Manila in the Philippines and Acapulco in Mexico. So a high possibility exists that some accessions of Capsicum frutescens were introduced via the Pacific dispersal route during the Maya galleon trade. And one more analysis. This is the chloroplast genome. So our group checked all the genes of the chloroplast, but only one side different. So only this part. The other is all the same, but only one side. One type is, like I say, type T, and one type is type TC. So only this C was inserted to the C, or I don't know which deleted or inserted, but only this part is different. And I checked all the 357 accessions about this T type or TC type. So Americas only T type, but Oceania there are many TC type, and Japan all the T type, And Southeast Asia, maybe half T-type and half TC type. So then, I don't know, it is unclear that this TC type, T-type is already in Americas. It means, I think, originally there. But how about TC type? TC type has come from the Americas and was introduced to the Pacific region, or TC type has occurred as a mutation in somewhere else outside of Americas and spread to the other area. So I'd like to focus on this TC and T-type. So further studies are needed to survey Capsicum frutescens in more wider area in the world to elucidate the Pacific dispersal route using genomes of nuclear and chloroplast as well as mitochondria. Because there are many crops originated in the Americas, like sweet potato, pumpkin, papaya, tomato. So why not the other crops were introduced from Americas via Pacific to the area. So first I focusing on the chili peppers, and later on I really wanted to reveal the Pacific dispersal route. Thank you very much. So actually I am the chairman, so do you have any questions or comments?
One online participant.
Oh. どうしたらいいですかね。大丈夫です。
It's okay, I can just go. Is there, one of the dispersal mechanisms was via ships and human beings. Are there any other possible dispersal mechanisms that?
Oh, chili peppers?
Yeah.
Already I told you, birds really like to eat chili pepper food. So if there is a very close distance, maybe the bird can transfer, disperse to the other island. But Pacific areas is very far from each other. So I'm sure it is because of the human activities. Yes. Thank you. Do you have any comments or questions?
So how does chili pepper affect the local food culture?
Especially people from some Micronesia, like Guam or Pacific Islands, if we don't have chili peppers in Pacific, what was the taste of our food? Maybe only like salt and maybe, not so many spices. And black peppers was very, very expensive at that time. But chili pepper is very easy to grow in the tropical area, so the impact was very high for their food. And actually, not only the food. In the Pacific, sometimes they use the leaves of the chili peppers for some curing the like a cutting or something, or sometimes eat the fruits for diarrhea, or sometimes they use as medicine as well. So not only the food, but chili peppers affect the people in the Pacific areas.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any comments, or do you have any chili peppers information in the Pacific?
We can still allow one more question.
It's okay? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, next presentation. So next presentation is actually my colleague, Professor Yasushi Otsuka, and his topic is prevention of dengue fever in small islands of Micronesia.
Hello. I'm also belong to the International Center for Island Studies, Kagoshima University, Japan. So our center has been conducting interdisciplinary research in Micronesia, especially in Federated State of Micronesia for many years. So this presentation is one of those research activities. So this project, I'm Yasushi Otsuka, is a medical entomology, and Yamamoto-san, ethnobotany and plant ecology, and Taniguchi-san, nursing. So it's one of the interdisciplinary work in FSM. So dengue fever is one of the most important mosquito-borne infectious disease in world. Dengue fever is acute illness caused by infection of dengue virus. After incubation period of 2 to 7 days after infection, symptom fever, headache, joint pain appears. So in addition, then hemorrhagic fever sometimes causes. Its decrease in circulating blood volume, which progress to shock syndrome and blood coagulation in peripheral blood vessels. It leads to the massive bleeding from the gastrointestinal tract and other organs, which sometimes may result in death. So dengue fever is causing epidemic in tropical or subtropical region, and also sometimes occur in Pacific country. So in South Asia, dengue fever occur frequently, but in Pacific Islands, not so frequent. So in our research was done in FSM. In FSM, first dengue fever epidemic occurred in Yap State in 1995. So then 2004, there was another major endemic also in Yap State. Then 2012, Kosrae States, then endemic occurred. So today, I'll talk Peace Panel Islands in Chuuk States and Pingrap Island in Pohnpei States. So both states, a major dengue fever outbreak has not been occurred, but sometimes some dengue fever cases are found, and suspected dengue infection have been occurred. So for dengue fever, now no effective vaccine no effective vaccine has been developed. Furthermore, there are no specific treatment for dengue fever. So the most effective way to prevent dengue fever is to avoid mosquito bite. For this reason, it is important to eliminate the mosquito from the living area of people. So it is especially important to prevent the development of mosquito larvae. So small and remote islands, so usually sometimes don't have the hospital, no doctor, no nurse. So small islands sometimes available medicine are limited. So for this reason, in small and remote area, it is very important to control mosquito to prevent the dengue fever. So here is a yellow fever mosquito, Aedes aegypti. So it is the main vector of dengue fever in the world. So this is a tiger mosquito. In Japanese name, Hitosujishima, so Aedes albopictus. So yellow fever mosquito, Aedes aegypti is a main vector, but in some areas, so another Aedes mosquito transmits the dengue virus. So small island need a sustainable dengue mosquito control needed. And the control can be done, it's better by the local people themselves. So we consider how to reduce the number of the mosquitoes that transmit the dengue fever virus. So we had a brief seminar about the dengue fever for residents of small islands. And distribute the pamphlet and show the DVD to explain the importance of mosquito control. Then encourage the island community to take action and examine how mosquito population are changing in the progress. So we surveyed a number of containers with pooled water and type of container and check the mosquito larvae abundance. So mosquito species at the household in the old residential area on Pispanel Island in Chuku State, and also Pingrap Island, Sapompe State, from 2012 to 2018. So Peace Island is located in the Chuku State and the north part of the Chuku Atoll here. Here is the main island of Ueno. It's apart from about 20 kilometers. So Pingrap Island is around here, so between Pohnpei Island and Kosurai Island. So it's remote from the about more than 200 kilometers from Pohnpei Island. So we survey both islands. So until now, so dengue fever case is not found in both islands. So it's a Google satellite map of both islands. It's a small island, it's a Pispanel Island and Pingrap Island. It's a very flat island. So we checked all around the residential area. So if we found the water-cooled container, take a photo and check the mosquito larvae. So mosquito larvae was found, for example, the coconut shell and well and canoe, water tank and can and plastic lunchbox and plastic container and tire. So in both islands, so there are no water supply system. So all house has a water tank to save for the water. So if found the mosquito larvae, so we collected the mosquito larvae, then identify species under the microscope. So this is a mosquito larvae. So in this panel, 5 species mosquito were found. So mosquito larvae can be identified by the shape of the siphon tail of the larvae and shape of the number of spine and length and the number of hair. So these 5 species were found. So this is the number of containers found in mosquito larvae in Pispanel Island, 2020. So the Aedes hensley is a dengue fever vector mosquito in Yap Islands. So if until now, so there are no dengue fever cases in this island. But if dengue fever occurs, so this Aedes hensley may transmit the dengue fever virus. So Aedes hensley is the most abundant in Pispanel. So this Aedes hensley use a coconut shell. Most use a coconut shell. So in Pingrap Island, so we found 3 species of mosquito. So Aedes aegypti were included. So this is a number of containers found in mosquito larvae in Pingrap Island 2012. So Aedes aegypti and Aedes marshallens is the most abundant. So the almost same number of mosquito containers were found Aedes aegypti. So Aedes aegypti use plastic container, concrete water tank, drum, but not use a coconut shell, banana leaf, tree pole. It's different from the Aedes hensley in Pispanel. So this plastic container, concrete shell, is an artificial container. So coconut shell, banana leaf, tree pole is made natural container. So Aedes aegypti is originally from Africa. So then Aedes aegypti spread through the world with human activity. So maybe Aedes aegypti were used, considered to use the artificial container with human activity. So this data, the result, its tendency. So the most mosquito founded container is the garbage of human activity. So on this small island, it is up to households to disperse garbage, and many of them threw it away their backyard. So some houses keep clean. There are some houses in the island. So some households bury the garbage, but most households throughout the garbage around the house. So we explained use our data that properly clean up garbage reduce the number of mosquitoes, and it can also effective in preventing dengue fever. So we continue this survey. So it's a start 2012 until 2018. So 2018 is a little bit high, but until 2017, a number of mosquito container tend to decrease. especially 2017 in Pispanel Island. The cleanup activity were conducted. So maybe with cleanup activity, fewer containers were found. But 2018, this year, due to high rainfall, so many waterproof container and found, also many mosquito container found. So we think. So this number of households found mosquito larvae in this panel, 2012 to 2014. So the peak was slowly moved to 3 to 1. But a little bit tendency to reduce the number of container, mosquito lab container. But here, some households have many found many mosquito container, and these households the same house. So this indicates the difficulty, so that all residents understand the importance of vector control. So conclusion, as I said, the evidential change associated with modernization, have caused a change in the mosquito habitat, like using the Aedes aegypti. And measures to control the infectious disease, must be taken in response to this change. Also in Japan, in 2014, outbreak of dengue fever occurred. First domestic outbreak in 70 years. The Ministry of Health subsequently launched a campaign to encourage the mosquito control, like this pamphlet. But the public, the people in Japan, has not been paid much attention to this campaign. So mosquito control itself is not difficult. Just remove the water from our living area. But to keep this mosquito control and to understand that many people, the importance of the mosquito control is very difficult. It's the same in Japan or Micronesia. This year, we plan to go to both Pingrap and Pispanel Islands. So this year we are very happy to go to there, only Pispanel Island, to investigate the island change or whether it's not change. Sometimes we were going to introduce the result of the island. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Do you have any questions or comments?
It wasn't very clear to me why in one of the two islands the larvae was found mostly in coconut shells, while in the other not. It was in rubbish containers. Is that just random, or the mosquitoes love coconut shells?
So depend on the species. The fish container use are different. In this case, Aedes aegypti, don't use the coconut shell. That another most of mosquitoes use the coconut shell. So it's a dependent species.
So you need to know your mosquitoes.
Yeah.
for prevention.
Okay, next.
Thank you for the paper. Very interesting. In some places that I know of in the Pacific, the coconut shells outside houses would not be rubbish. They would be a fuel supply, which was drying out to be used later. So I'm wondering if there's a relationship between access to alternative forms of fuel and the use of coconut husks for cooking fuel.
So,
乾燥させてるとか燃料へのアクセスがあるかないかとかによってなんか家族によって違うのかとか。
So we don't know the data exactly, but so this panel, this island, so most people drink the coconut water and eat the coconut leaf. Then throw out around the house. So and sometimes we use the funnel, so coconut shell. But most people many coconut shell are throw out around the world, around the house. So mosquitoes use garbage of coconut shell over human activities.
So like the old one, so they use as a fuel. So they sometimes in the water, but only 1 day, 2 days they handle I don't know. So then no water, then water, but mosquito cannot grow, larvae cannot grow. But just sometimes young coconut just drink in a slow way, and it has a lot of organic matter, so larvae likes that space. So do you have any comments or question? Okay. So thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
So I'm going to close this session. Thank you very much.